I'm sure they're a little tilted. Greetings, everyone. I am glad to be here, and I am glad that you are here. Today's jank is brought to you by one of our users named The Casual Suspect. Now, on my Twitch stream, I actually have a channel point redemption that says, you give me a couple of words, and I build a deck around those. So the words that were given to me by The Casual Suspect was Dreadhorde Arcanist, land destruction. So we did that. I built a deck and was very all in on that. And I just could not get it to do what it wanted, right? We had a lot more land destruction in the deck, but we couldn't ever cast land destruction because the Dreadhorde Arcanist was either getting pump spells or that, and there wasn't enough. There wasn't a deck there. We couldn't win games. We destroyed a few lands, but it didn't feel like a deck at all. So I came back to the drawing board and we fooled around a little more with some numbers, and this is what we came up with. I hope this meets our good friend Casual Suspect's needs, because I do think it's pretty good, and when it goes off, it's really sick. It's just a little bit more combo-oriented, or synergy-oriented than the other version that was just all in. What is it that we're specifically trying to do? Okay, Dreadhorde Arcanist. 2 mana, 1/3 trample. When it attacks, you may cast an instant or sorcery with mana value less than or equal to Dreadhorde Arcanist power from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. If you would do that, exile the card, right? So the catch is, Dreadhorde Arcanist is only a 1-power creature, right? So what does it really do? Not much, right? You can cast 1-drops. So what we're trying to do is, in the early game, have 1-drops that will grow our Dreadhorde Arcanist. The first of which is one of our newer cards, Tenacious Pup, 1 mana, 1/2. When it enters, gain a life. When you cast your next creature spell, it enters with a 1/1 counter, a trample counter, and a vigilance counter. So they can give this 1/1 and vigilance, and that 1/1 counter, of course, is there forever. Now it's a 2-power creature, right? Similarly, Snakeskin Veil grants hexproof and a 1/1 counter, so that stays. Then Vastwood Fortification allows us to pad our lands. We're actually only on 20 lands here. But with these, we're on 24, which is plenty. But it also allows us, if we cast this, it goes to the bin, we can cast it right back out, growing our Dreadhorde Arcanist in ways that are very aggressive. Similarly, Ranger class puts 1/1 counters on our Dreadhorde Arcanist, so they stay. The problem with the original version I built was we had like giant growth style effects where you temporarily get bigger. And it just wound up, we had to waste those on poor turns and had to use them as combat tricks to just survive. There wasn't any... We actually ended up casting not very much land destruction at all, right? So that's why this version allows the counters to stay on Dreadhorde Arcanist, and then we can use them to attack. Another key synergy here, folks, Domri's Ambush. 1/1 counter on a creature you control, then it deals combat damage equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. So again, the counter stays, and then it's also interaction. Allows us to, get our opponent's stuff, and it's a sorcery. We can flash it back from the graveyard, right? So after that, I decided to try and have other things that would really benefit from growing. So Legion Warboss, 2/2, it makes a 1/1 every turn, and that creature has to attack. It only has to attack just the first turn, or just the turn it's created, but it does have to attack that turn. So it's kind of an army in a can. But if you grow it enough, it also has Mentor. So whenever it attacks, you can put a 1/1 counter on something smaller than it. So by growing the Legion Warboss, it can grow Dreadhorde Arcanist, but it can also grow the goblins that you cast on it. So it benefits. Relic Robber is really cool because it's one of my favorite cards. So I'm sure Casual Suspect will forgive me for putting this card in there because I love it. But admittedly, when this gets through more than a couple of times, the game just ends, right? It's very, very strong that way. So getting a couple of counters on it can really help this thing get through and force your opponent into a really bad situation where they'll take really awkward blocks and stuff just to get rid of this thing, right? Of course, our land destruction package for flashing back and just casting in general. And then Halana and Alena is another card that both grows the Dreadhorde Arcanist, but also benefits from these other cards by growing itself. 2/3 first strike reach for 4 mana. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X 1/1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is Halana and Alena's power. That creature gains haste. So just normally it comes down as a 4-mana 2/3. Put 2 1/1 counters anywhere. So that can happen as soon as it comes down. Dreadhorde Arcanist grows from a 1 power to a 3 power, and you guessed it, Stone Rain. 3 power. You can immediately flashback Stone Rains. So we're pretty excited about that. I think we'll probably have to take a little bit of aggressive mulliganing to make sure we find our land destruction, but I'm actually kind of excited about this deck. I think it's going to do better. A side note, I almost always play these, or this sort of thing in ranked, the decks that I brew. The deck stipulations, sometimes folks give me an idea that's, we all know is going to be bad, but it's going to be funny, right? And I'm making videos for that. So I'm actually going to be playing these in the play queue. So just so you know, the level of competition might be a little less than you would normally see on the channel because it's going to be in the play queue instead of in ranked. But we're hoping we face off against good things anyway. So either way, let's go get some games, shall we? All right, folks, we're up against Sai. Good luck, Sai. And you know what? Yeah, we're here. This is fine. We need ways of pumping Dreadhorde Arcanist, but there are plenty of them in the deck. So we're going to trust that our deck will do what it's supposed to do. Start on a Stomping Ground. All right, folks. Yeah, here we go, I guess. Stomping Ground. Tapped. Sai, thinking about it, goes with Temple Garden untapped. Down to 18. What will they be up to? All Seed of Life's Bounty. All right. Well, okay. Dreadhorde Arcanist, come on down. I'm not sure this Stone Rain's going to be fast enough, folks, but we'll find out. Destiny Spinner. Well, that's scary. Hey, Halana Alena. Well, we will need to draw more lands, but getting to start with Stone Rain is a good thing. The fact that we can follow it up with another Stone Rain is also a really good thing. We need a land, though, so Halana and Alena can help us flash back the Stone Rains, because that could be destroy all of our opponent's lands from now until eternity. Oh boy, are they missing another land drop? If they're missing a land drop, we're going to get the concession next turn. So that much would be good. The unfortunate thing, it would be a little unsatisfying since we won't have gotten to flash him back with Dreadhorde Arcanist. But again, a single land would mean Halana and Alena are going to have Dreadhorde Arcanist flashing everything back. So this is absolutely a success, even if our opponent was greedy with their keep or something, you know. Alright, well. Stone Rain. Back to the Stone Age for you, Sai. Yeah. I imagine they're not real happy about that. No attacks. Opponent. Missing another land drop. Oh boy. They didn't concede, though. They didn't concede. They're on 0 lands. But admittedly, I guess we're not really doing anything, so I guess there isn't really a need to concede just yet. And I assume they're probably thinking, I'm going to rope this dirtbag. Us being the dirtbag. Because I'm sure they're a little tilted, you know. But, oh well. Alright, Sai does make a land drop. So that's good. Oh boy. Well, darn it. No land for us. So I guess we're going to Legion Warboss, because it does mentor things. So we can at least start attacking with Dreadhorde Arcanist the next turn, because we can mentor onto it then. But, you know, for now, it also helps us advance our board a little bit. You know, we're making progress, so to speak. Sai. Thinking about things. Alright, goes to combat. This creature must attack, so it does. Of course, folks, for those of you curious, we can't really attack with the Dreadhorde Arcanist here because they could team block, and we could kill the All Seed of Life's Bounty, but we would lose our Dreadhorde Arcanist in exchange, and we don't want that to happen. So, I guess it's possible, folks, we were supposed to Ranger class here instead of Legion Warboss, but I'm really hoping we're going to be able to Halana Alena soon. Hey, there we go. Yes, please. Halana and Alena, our opponent, may or may not realize what's about to happen. We'll find out. All right. And counters go on. A dude gets made. Combat. We're going to... Yes. We're going to attack with these. Cast a Stone Rain from our bin. Oh, boy! It's happening! Oh, I'm sorry, Sai. A little bit. I mean, I'm not really sorry. You know how it is. But our opponent is likely quite chagrined, you know. Yeah, there we go. Got the concession now. GG, Sai, GG. All right, folks, here we are on the play. We're gonna keep this. This is a good hand. It's possible we're supposed to start on Vastwood Fortification, but honestly, I just want to hold it. I want to be able to cast and flash it back with our Dreadhorde Arcanist, so we're gonna trust that our deck provides us with the lands we need. And we're gonna plan on trying to Stomping Ground tapped, and then Dreadhorde Arcanist, and start getting in at Pyre Dream's face. Good luck, Pyre Dream. Good luck. Okay. Stomping Ground tapped. Go on ahead, Pyre Dream. Soul Warden. Alright, well, that's inconvenient. Okay, Dreadhorde Arcanist, come on down. Yeah, folks, this is inconvenient. I'm not thrilled about this, but it's fine. Alright, is Johnny's Pridemate? Okay, so this is a more conventional thing. Okay, well, Domri's Ambush. Take care of that. Dreadhorde Arcanist. Take care of that. Alright, Pyre Dream. Take 3, down to 19. Serra Ascendant. Shadow Spear. Okay. Well, alright. I think we're just going to attack for now. Opponent takes it, down to 16. Well, Tenacious Pup into Dreadhorde Arcanist means we're a little ways on towards being able to cast more things out of there. But remember, this one has a Vigilance counter, folks. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice indeed. And Pyre Dream recognizes what's going on here and scoops them up. I think that was a little bit of a premature scoop from Pyre Dream there, but I do think we also had things in really good shape. I was really hoping we would get a Stone Rain off the top and just be able to Stone Rain them into oblivion. But I guess we'll have to settle for the win. GG. Pyre Dream, GG. All right, folks. Yeah, I mean, I'm not strictly thrilled about this hand, but I think we're going to keep it. Gonna start with Stomping Ground, untapped, Tenacious Pup. This is almost certainly going to be a land next turn, and we're going to follow it up with Dragon's Rage Channeler. I think even if we draw a land, that's what we're going to do, unfortunately. Witch's Oven. Yeah, because we need to get to Halana and Alena. So Dragon's Rage Channeler, come on down, get a Trample and Vigilance counter. Opponent take a damage. The Forbidden One at 17 life. We are at 19 ourselves. Because, of course, remember, Tenacious Pup does gain us a life, which is also nice. Okay. Dreadhorde Butcher grows. I assume they're going to use Witch's Oven to sacrifice it, but we're going to make them do it. Yeah, all right. This stinks, but it is what it is. Hey, looky there. Legion Warboss, come on down. Opponent takes the damage, takes the damage. Down to 15. Dragon Skull Summit enters on their side of the battlefield. 15 life remain. Ravenous Squirrel. Okay. Claim the Firstborn. All right. That's inconvenient. All right, down to 14. Witch's Oven sacrifices our Legion Warboss, puts a counter on the Ravenous Squirrel. Yeah. This feels pretty bad. Not gonna lie. But I don't think we can wait. Yeah, fine. This will at least give us a better blocker. Ravenous Squirrel, go away. Save the Snakeskin Veil. And that turn. The Forbidden One, being not very nice to us. There aren't too many cards in the game that feel more unfair than Claim the Firstborn, you know? Like, it's fine that it exists and everything. I'm just saying it feels bad, you know? Well, yep. We're gonna block. We have a Snakeskin Veil, so if they go to kill it, we can punish them for that action. The Forbidden One. Passes the turn. Oh boy, hey, the Landier? Very good indeed. Halana and Alena. Counters. Going on to Tenacious Pup. I don't think we can actually attack with it this turn, because our situation is still a bit tenuous. But next turn, the beatdown starts. Whoa, Strider. Alright. Whoa, Strider sacrifices. And kills our 1/1. Sure. The Scry goes to the top. That's not ideal. Not actually thrilled about that, folks. And Gutterbones. Alright, well, that's inconvenient. So, Ranger class. Level up Ranger class. Shotgun Stomping Grounds. Feels bad, but it is what it is. Actually, I wonder if counters were actually supposed to go on the other wolf for blocking purposes here. My main thought was it's either chump now or they're on a 2-turn clock. But, like, maybe the blocking situation was better, you know? Because now we can Snakeskin Veil, protect Halana and Alena, but also first strike down one of their scary things, you know? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So now our opponent is in a bit of an awkward spot. Wow! I expected them to Witch's Oven, sacrifice the Woe Strider to get another trigger, but they don't do it. That's a rough spot now. Alana and Alena is even throwing around more counters now. Opponent might not realize there's first strike involved here. Yeah, that was a series of unfortunate events from our opponent. So, combat, counters, and we're going to attack. They must block here. Counters going on Halana and Alena herself. Yep. Mayhem Devil gets to sacrifice. Damage goes on our face. Damage dealt to their face. A little more damage to their face. And Ranger class happens. Do we dare? I think we do. It's scary, folks, but we're going to do it. This is how life was meant to be lived, I think. What's life without a little risk, right? Admittedly, 9's a pretty safe life total. And being able to flashback our Domri's ambush and stuff from the bin would be really good. If, you know, it happened that way, which it indeed appears to be the case. So, GG, the Forbidden One, GG. All right, folks, we are back. We are back, and man, I had a great time. The deck ended up a lot better than I thought it would. We won quite a few. We lost quite a few, or lost several. Won several, I guess would be more accurate. Lost 3, won 3. I don't think we're gonna show all the games. I'm not sure quite which ones, but just for brevity's sake, I was trying to find interesting games to play. But it went 50%. I really can't complain. Especially considering it was kind of memey. What things might I change if I was going to do this over again? Well, first of all, we 100% want this to be a 4 of. I was concerned Domri's Ambush might be too conditional because we didn't have a lot of creatures. No, we want this card all the time. Relic Robber also did not do what we were hoping it would do. I'm not surprised. It never does. But I love this card, so I want it in here. It's easily, one of those cards that we might want to cut. And we'll get to that in a minute. But Halana Alena, also another card that I was just like, man, we kind of always want this. So maybe one more of these wouldn't hurt. But on the whole, the rest of the deck, pretty solid. Maybe even just down to 2 Legion Warboss, something like that. What cards might we consider adding? Well, to get more land destruction, if you were thinking about that, Goblin Ruinblaster is probably just better than the Relic Robbers, being that it can also destroy lands. Non-basics is all. So the reason it didn't make it in the deck originally is sometimes, if you go up against, let's say, I don't know, goblins or merfolk or elves or something like that, or any of the life gain decks, a lot of the time they have primarily basics. So this just ends up being a 2/1 for haste for 3, which is not a great deal, but it could get us there and give us a little bit of insulation to make sure we're actually destroying lands. The other, more importantly, I think the Seismic Shift. This is one that you should really, really consider adding. It is 4 mana. Up to 2 target creatures can't block this turn. So it can get us in free attacks with Dreadhorde Arcanist. So if we're growing the Dreadhorde Arcanist with the Ranger class, I found a couple of times, man, I wouldn't mind attacking here, but they've got like 2 2/2s or something. So I'll trade Dreadhorde Arcanist and I can't attack, right? So Seismic Shift would both let us attack and get a counter on here, but also maybe allow us to flashback again more often. I think maybe we should have tried this to begin with. That might have been better. If any of you do try it, please let me know how it turns out. And last but not least, Creeping Mold. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or land. This is a lot more flexible. It doesn't get any creatures or anything, right? But the extra flexibility could really matter. We had a Phyrexian Obliterator opponent that ended up winning because they had well, first of all, Phyrexian Arena that this could have killed, but secondly, the Shadow Spear that gained them a bunch of life and got them out of trouble. If we had been able to destroy either of those, I think we actually win that game pretty easily. And then, there's just other problematic artifacts, problematic enchantments that show up, and this would give us a little more flexibility on that. So maybe that's worth considering as well. I think I may have overvalued the scrying originally, so it's possible we could cut like this, and add like, I don't know, 2 Ruinblaster, 2 Seismic Shift perhaps, maybe 1 Ruinblaster, 1 Seismic Shift, or even potentially maybe go down another Legion Warboss, go 2 Ruinblasters, 2 Seismic Shifts, and a Creeping Mold or something like that, right? But on the whole, folks, it honestly played a lot better than I expected. So if you guys end up crafting it, please let me know. I think, and for any of you Strider acolytes out there, you may even have some of these just hanging out in your collection anyway. And they're good cards. There's a whole bunch of different directions you can build with this, and it might be worth exploring some more. Maybe even into the rank queue. So who knows? That said, I appreciate everybody who tuned in, and I will catch you all next time.